The news continues 24/7, powered by our 4 sister stations in the Northwest.
And thanks for joining us on this Thursday. I'm Stephen Kilbreath. Your weather on the ones with Lisa Van Sise in just a moment. But first, here's a quick look at your top stories. Police say 2 people found dead inside an Oregon mobile home were both murdered. They are treating this case as a double homicide. The bodies of a man and woman were found yesterday morning at Hearthwood Village Mobile Home Park in Clackamas. Detectives want anyone with information about this case to give them a call. The legal battle over Deflategate is not over yet. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell promised the league will appeal a judge's ruling that struck down Tom Brady's 4-game suspension. Goodell says it's important to protect the integrity of the game. And it's Blue Thursday. The Seahawks are taking on the Raiders for their final preseason game tonight. The Hawks are currently 1-2 in the preseason. Kickoff at 7 o'clock tonight at CenturyLink Field. All right, thanks, Lisa. Another Washington school district voted to strike. Teachers in the South Whidbey School District will hit the picket lines today at Langley Middle School. The teachers overwhelmingly voted to strike last night after contract negotiations broke down. School is supposed to start there on Tuesday. Meanwhile, teachers with Washington State's largest school district will vote tonight on whether they will strike. Seattle teachers and the district have yet to agree on big issues, including salary and student testing. Negotiators from both sides will meet tomorrow with a state mediator. So even if teachers do vote today to strike, they could still reach a deal before students are scheduled to begin the new school year, which is on Wednesday. Spokane teachers plan to walk out of classrooms tomorrow if there's no new contract by midnight tonight. The strike will affect over 29,000 school kids. The school board says it will take legal action if teachers go through with the strike.
It's a board resolution that allows our attorney to file the papers on Friday morning if we need to put an injunction against the SEA and against the striking teachers and workers who decide that they're not going to show up to work.
Well, an injunction would help the district seek outside services to help maintain the buildings. However, the district says if the teachers go on strike, they will have to shut down the schools. They do not have enough substitutes to make a school day work. For thousands of kids, going back to school means getting back on the bus. One Western Washington district has a new plan in place to make sure that every student gets off the bus as well. King 5's Teresa Ewan shows us how it works. The city of Portland set a new record for gang violence this year, and while many people said the news is upsetting, they're not letting it stop them from living their lives. We caught up with several parents taking their kids to the park next to King School, which has seen several gang-related incidents. So far this year, the city has had more than 120 gang-related incidents. Police say an overwhelming majority are shootings.
It's our community, and this is for our school, and we always want our kids to be in the best situation. But like I said before, it's in every situation, every neighborhood. It's not only this one. So, I mean, you do what you got to do. I mean, violence has been around for a long time. It's not only gangs.
Police say they need the community's help to keep the problem under control. They say if you see something, to be sure to call them right away. Despite windy conditions, crews are gaining ground against massive wildfires in north central Washington, but evacuations do remain in effect. The Okanagan Complex fire grew slightly yesterday to 148,000 acres. It's now 50% contained, and the Chelan Complex fire is now 94,000 acres. Crews have the flames there 65% contained. To Oregon, where authorities have lowered most evacuation orders near the town of John Day. The Canyon Creek Complex fire is now 2% contained. The fire has destroyed dozens of homes and burned more than 105,000 acres. Now to an amazing rescue in Oregon. 2 strangers helped save a woman this morning trapped inside a burning home. KGW's Ashley Corslin reports one of them just happened to be an off-duty firefighter that was on his way to work. That was Ashley Corslin reporting. Both women were taken to the hospital with injuries. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. It looks like the roads will be packed this holiday weekend. Still to come, we're going to tell you what's fueling the extra traffic. Plus, what Russell Wilson is saying about the Seahawks' preseason struggles ahead of tonight's final preseason game in Seattle. Welcome to 1545. We get started in Oregon, where emergency crews just rescued an injured fisherman. This was the scene near Faraday Dam along the Clackamas River this afternoon. Dispatchers tell us the man broke his leg and rescuers had to conduct a high-angle rescue to reach him. A Kentucky clerk remains in jail after she refused to authorize her deputies to issue same-sex marriage licenses. Federal marshals arrested Kim Davis this morning. Davis maintains that issuing marriage licenses to gay couples is against her religious beliefs. She actually stopped signing off on all marriage licenses when the Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage in June. Because Davis is an elected official, she cannot be fired, only impeached. 5 of her deputy clerks have agreed to issue licenses. And Republican frontrunner Donald Trump has signed his allegiance to the GOP. Trump promised to back the party's 2016 nominee for president, whoever it is. He also said he will not run as a third-party candidate. In the Republican presidential debate last month, Trump refused to rule out a bid for president if he wasn't the nominee. Trump said all he wanted was fairness from the Republican National Committee, and he feels that he has that now. That's your 1545. Be sure to follow us on our mobile app. You can also follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook for all the late-breaking news. Jobless claims come in higher than expected, and 1 in 3 Americans who get an inheritance blows it. Jane King is at the NASDAQ with those stories and more in today's business update. Well, if you're hitting the road this Labor Day, get ready for lots and lots of company. According to AAA's travel forecast, more than 35 million people plan to travel at least 50 miles from home this holiday weekend, and most will be driving. That's partially due to the lower gas prices. Right now, the average national for a gallon of gas is $2.44. That's the national average. That's the cheapest Labor Day price since 2004. Now we're paying more here in the Northwest, of course. A gallon of regular gas in Washington will cost drivers an average of $2.92 a gallon. Oregon's average is $2.81, and you'll pay $2.87 a gallon in Idaho. President Obama is back in the nation's capital after wrapping up a 3-day trip to Alaska. Yesterday, he became the first sitting U.S. president to set foot in the Alaska Arctic. He visited a remote village north of the Arctic Circle. He also posted video of his hike up to a melting glacier on Tuesday, trying to drive home the impact of climate change. And as school kicks off this year, firefighters in Western Washington are working hard to feed hungry children. They hope their new program to provide breakfast at school will soon expand. King 5's Michael Konopasek has the story. Well, it's Blue Thursday, and the Seahawks are giving people a chance to help those affected by wildfires at tonight's game. Volunteers will be collecting cash donations at all stadium gates until halftime. Fans can also donate at stadium concession stands, those who are lucky enough to attend the game. And as you know, they are taking on the Oakland Raiders tonight, and the team has some work to do. The Hawks have scored just 4 field goals in 12 possessions this preseason and no touchdowns, but Russell Wilson is confident it's all going to come together. Well, let's hope that translates into regular season wins. Kickoff is tonight at 7 at CenturyLink Field for the last preseason game against the Raiders. You're watching NWCN, Northwest News and Weather 24 hours a day. Be sure to keep it right here.